I am the hottest babe in town. Who say money no good? My Instagram page will catch fire today.
Abuja was loud during the day, but strangely quiet at night. Inside a small one-room apartment in Gorimpa, Amara Okeke lay on her bed staring at the ceiling. The fan above her turned slowly, making a soft clicking sound. The paint on the walls had begun to peel near the window, and the curtain was faded from years of sunlight. Her phone lit up beside her. Instagram notification. She picked it up immediately. Amara was 24 years old. She was naturally beautiful with smooth, dark skin and a curvy body that attracted attention everywhere she went. When she walked through the market, men would turn their heads. Women would whisper. Some admired her confidence. Others envied her shape. But none of that changed her reality. Her rent was overdue. Her salary from the clothing shop barely covered food and transport. And every night she scrolled through Instagram and watched other girls live the life she dreamed about. She opened the app. The first picture she saw was a girl posing beside a white Range Rover. The background showed a luxury house with glass balconies. The caption read, "Soft life, hard work pays." Amara frowned slightly. Hard work doing what? She muttered. She tapped the girl's profile. Designer bags, five-star hotels, trips to Dubai, birthday dinners with fireworks. Amara looked around her room. Plastic chair, small wardrobe, single mattress, one standing mirror. Her chest tightened. She opened her own profile. Her pictures were beautiful. Selfies, mirror shots, short videos of her dancing. She knew she looked good. Her curves filled her jeans perfectly. Her dresses hugged her body in ways that made strangers stare. But the background always gave her away. Simple room, local restaurant, regular street. Her followers liked her photos. They commented with fire emojis, but the numbers never exploded. She wanted more than compliments. She wanted admiration. She wanted to be seen as successful. She wanted to be envied. Earlier that day, her landlord had knocked on her door. "Amara, your rent is late again." "I'm working on it, sir," she replied softly. But she had no plan. At work, her manager had shouted at her for arriving 5 minutes late. "Do you think this is your father's shop?" She kept quiet. That night, lying in bed, she felt small. Very small. She opened Instagram again. Another girl was celebrating 1 million followers. Another was announcing a brand partnership. Another was showing off a new apartment. Amara sat up slowly. "Why not me?" she whispered. She walked to her mirror. She studied her reflection carefully. Her waist curved beautifully into her hips. Her body was full and attractive. Her face was soft but confident. She turned sideways and admired her silhouette. "I look like those influencers," she said quietly. The difference was not beauty. The difference was lifestyle. Or at least appearance. A thought entered her mind. It was small at first, just a whisper. What if people think I'm already living that life? She frowned. It sounded wrong, but also possible. The next day after work, instead of going home, Amara boarded a bus heading toward Maitama, one of the richest areas in Abuja. Her heart beat fast the entire ride. What am I even doing? She asked herself. When she arrived, she felt out of place immediately. The houses were massive. The gates were tall and shiny. Security guards stood outside some compounds. Expensive cars were parked neatly along wide streets. She walked slowly, pretending she belonged there. She found a large white mansion with beautiful flowers arranged outside the gate. The street was quiet. She looked around. No one was watching. She adjusted her dress, turned slightly to show her curves, lifted her chin confidently, and took a picture, then another, then a short video. Her hands trembled as she reviewed them. They looked real, very real. Anyone who saw them would assume she lived there. She stood still for a moment. This was the line, the moment where she could either walk away or step into something new. She stepped forward. That night, she edited the photo carefully. She brightened the colors, increased the contrast, added a soft golden filter. Then she posted it. Caption, "Grateful for growth. God did it." She dropped her phone on the bed and covered her face with her hands. Her heart pounded. 5 minutes passed. 10 minutes. Her phone buzzed. Then again. Then again. She grabbed it quickly. Likes were rising fast. Comments flooded in. When did you move? Amara, soft life queen. You deserve it. Her numbers increased by hundreds within hours. She stared at the numbers. Her breathing slowed. A slow smile formed on her lips. It worked. The lie worked. For the first time in a long while, she felt powerful. Not because she had money, but because people believed she did. She lay back on her bed, holding her phone tightly against her chest. I can do this, she whispered. But deep inside, a small voice asked, how long can you keep it up? Amara ignored the voice. The attention felt too good. Outside her window, the night was quiet. Inside her room, a new life had just begun, and it was built on something fragile, something dangerous, a beautiful lie. The next morning, Amara woke up to the soft golden light of the sun spilling through her faded curtain. Her small apartment in Gorimpa felt unusually quiet, almost too quiet. Yet the excitement from last night lingered in her chest like a warm ember she couldn't ignore. Her phone vibrated. Notifications, likes, comments. Every buzz was a small victory. She opened Instagram, eyes widening at the numbers. Her followers had jumped almost 500 in less than 24 hours. Comments poured in. Queen, when did you move to that mansion? Teach us how to live like this. Amara, you're glowing. Her lips curved into a small, triumphant smile. It felt intoxicating. People believed she was rich. People wanted to see more, and she realized she could give them more. By noon, she was dressed differently than usual. She had borrowed a tight, elegant bodycon dress from Chioma, her best friend, and paired it with nude heels she had saved up for months to buy. She smoothed her braids, applied soft makeup, and slipped on a pair of oversized sunglasses. Amara stepped outside. She no longer felt nervous. She felt alive. She hailed a taxi, but not to go home. She asked the driver to take her to the fancy part of town, the restaurants she had always only admired on Instagram. When the taxi pulled up to a white-walled cafe with floor-to-ceiling glass windows, she paused. She looked around. People were sipping cappuccinos, some typing away on laptops, others laughing over plated desserts. The smell of fresh pastries and roasted coffee beans filled the air. Amara walked in like she belonged. Her heart raced, but she held her head high. She ordered the cheapest drink on the menu, a small cappuccino, and positioned herself near the window. From this angle, the outside reflected perfectly on the glass, showing her silhouette against the luxurious interior. She snapped a picture, subtly tilting her head, the sunlight catching her golden-toned skin. Click. She smiled. Another post was ready. Another illusion created. Over the next few days, Amara's life became a delicate dance of appearances. She visited more upscale restaurants, posing with meals she barely ate. She rented designer outfits for a few hours for photo shoots in front of sleek cars. She posted short videos, strolling through malls and boutiques, always careful to angle her shots to make it seem like she belonged. Sometimes, she even tagged luxury brands she couldn't afford, hoping the tags would catch the eye of someone wealthy. And slowly, it worked. Her follower count surged, and people began messaging her privately. Where do you live? Are you available for collaborations? Wow, your goals! Amara responded carefully, keeping the illusion alive. Because of her striking body and the confidence she displayed online, rumors began circulating. People whispered that she must have a sugar daddy. Some assumed she had a rich boyfriend. At first, Amara laughed, but then she realized the rumors only made her more popular. Men slid into her DMs, some offering money, others offering trips. Women complimented her lifestyle, some secretly jealous. She ignored most of the messages, but she couldn't deny the thrill. Every notification, every like, every comment felt like power she had never known. Yet, reality didn't pause for her online success. Her landlord still called. Rent was overdue. Her savings dwindled. At night, she sat on her bed, staring at her modest apartment, the glow of her phone contrasting sharply against her peeling walls and faded curtains. Kioma eventually confronted her. "Amara, you're living a lie," she said gently one evening. "Why not just be honest? People will respect the real you." Amara's stomach twisted. She wanted to answer, but she didn't. Instead, she whispered, one day it will be real." Amara began to enjoy the thrill of it. The more people believed in her, the bolder she became. Every outing to a luxury mall, every photo in front of a sleek car, every video in a cafe became a step deeper into the world she had imagined. She had created a mask, and the mask felt better than her real life. But masks are heavy, and as she smiled for the camera, she didn't know how long she could carry it before it crocked. That night, Amara lay on her small bed, staring at the ceiling while her phone rested on her chest. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of her ceiling fan. Then her phone buzzed. One notification, then another, and another. She sat up quickly. Her heart began to race. When she opened Instagram, her eyes widened. Hundreds of new likes, dozens of comments, new followers pouring in every minute. "Who shared my post?" she whispered. One of her photos, the one in front of the sleek black car, had gone viral on a popular Abuja lifestyle page. Her hands trembled as she refreshed the page again. The number kept climbing. For the first time in her life, Amara felt seen. Her direct messages began to flood. "Hey, Queen, you look stunning. Are you in Abuja? Let's connect." Some messages were harmless, some were bold, some were clearly from wealthy men. One message stood out. The profile picture showed a well-dressed man in a navy suit standing beside a luxury SUV. His username was simple and clean. No emojis, no fake flexing, just confidence. His message read, "I admire your lifestyle. Let's have dinner sometime." Amara stared at it longer than she should have. Dinner, with a man who clearly had money. Her stomach tightened, not from fear, but from excitement. She ignored the message for an hour. She didn't want to look desperate, but she kept reopening it. Finally, she typed, "Thank you, that sounds nice." She deleted it. Too eager. She typed again, "Thank you, I'm quite busy these days." Deleted. Too cold. After several tries, she finally sent, "Thank you, maybe." 3 dots appeared almost instantly. He replied, "Friday, 7 p.m., I'll send a driver." Her heart skipped. A driver? This was moving fast. But wasn't this what she wanted? The next day, she told Chioma. Chioma's smile faded immediately. "You don't even know him," she said carefully. "He's not a random person," Amara replied. "Look at his page." Chioma shook her head. "Pages can lie." Amara felt defensive. "I can handle myself." Chioma sighed. "Just promise me you'll be careful." Amara nodded, but inside she was already imagining the dinner, the photos, the upgrade to her fake lifestyle. Maybe this wasn't fake anymore. Maybe this was her breakthrough. Friday came too quickly. Amara rented a more expensive dress than usual. She did her makeup slowly, carefully. She practiced smiling in the mirror, soft but confident. At exactly 6:45 p.m., her phone rang. "I'm outside," the driver said. Her breath caught in her throat. She grabbed her purse and stepped outside her modest building. Parked in front of her compound was a sleek black SUV. Her neighbors stared, and for the first time, the lifestyle she had pretended to live looked real. But as she entered the car, a small voice in her head whispered, "What if this is the moment everything changes?" Not upward. The black SUV moved smoothly through the wide, clean roads of Maitama. Amara sat in the back seat, her hands resting on her purse. She tried to look calm, but inside her heart was beating loudly. Streetlights reflected softly on the window beside her. Abuja looked different from this angle. Quiet, powerful, important. When the car finally stopped, the driver stepped out and opened her door. In front of her stood a beautiful luxury restaurant. White walls, tall glass windows, soft golden lights glowing from inside. For a moment, Amara forgot how to breathe. This was not Instagram. This was real. She stepped out carefully, adjusting her dress, lifting her chin the way she had practiced. But tonight, she was not posing for a camera. She was walking into something she didn't fully understand. He was already seated when she entered. Tall, calm, well-dressed in a navy suit. His wristwatch reflected the light when he moved his hand. His expression was not playful like the men in her DMs. It was observant, serious. "Amara," he said, standing up. His voice was smooth, controlled. "You look exactly like your pictures." She smiled confidently. "Of course." They sat. For a few seconds there was silence. Not awkward, just measuring. The waiter brought menus, but Amara barely looked at hers. She chose something expensive without checking the price. She had to maintain the image. He watched her carefully. "So," he began, "what do you do?" The question was simple, but it felt heavy. Amara's mind raced. Influencer? Entrepreneur? Businesswoman? She smiled lightly. "I'm into fashion and lifestyle." It wasn't a complete lie, but it wasn't the full truth either. He nodded slowly. "Interesting. Your page grew very fast." Her stomach tightened. Was that a compliment or suspicion? Dinner went smoothly. He spoke about business, investments, travel, Dubai, London, places Amara had only seen online. Then he leaned slightly forward. "I like ambition," he said. "I help people who know what they want." Her heart skipped. Help. He reached into his jacket and placed a small box on the table. Inside was a delicate gold bracelet. "For a beautiful beginning," he said. Amara felt a rush of victory. This was it, her breakthrough. But then he added quietly, "I don't invest in lies." Her smile froze for half a second. He looked directly into her eyes, sharp, reading her. "Are you exactly who you say you are online?" The air suddenly felt thinner. For a moment, Amara considered continuing the act. She could laugh it off, change the topic, play smart. But something in his gaze made her uneasy. He was not foolish. He was not impressed by filters. He was calculating. Her palms became sweaty. "Yes," she said softly. The word felt heavy. He leaned back in his chair. "Good," he replied calmly, but his expression did not fully believe her. The dinner ended politely. He paid, the driver returned her home. From the outside, it looked perfect. But when Amara stepped back into her small apartment, the gold bracelet on her wrist suddenly felt heavier than before. She stared at her reflection. Tonight, she had crossed a new line. Not just posting fake pictures. Now she was lying face to face. And lies, once spoken in person, are harder to control. As she lay in bed, her phone buzzed again. A new notification. Someone had commented on one of her old photos. "Isn't this the same girl that works at Royal Supermarket in Wusei?" Her heart stopped. The crack had begun. The next morning, sunlight pushed through Amara's faded curtain. She stretched lazily, smiling to herself as she remembered the dinner. The bracelet still sat beautifully on her wrist. For a moment, she felt powerful. Her phone buzzed. She smiled. More likes, more comments, more attention. But when she opened Instagram, her smile slowly disappeared. One comment sat under her latest photo. "Isn't this the same girl that works at Royal Supermarket in Wusei?" Her heart skipped. Her fingers froze. The world around her suddenly felt quiet. She clicked on the profile of the person who commented. Private account, no picture, no posts, anonymous. But the comment had already received replies. Wait, what? Seriously? Someone confirm. Her chest tightened. This was not just a random insult. It sounded like someone who knew her, someone from real life. She quickly deleted the comment. Her hands were shaking, but screenshots move faster than deletions. Her phone rang. Chioma. Amara, what is going on? Chioma's voice sounded worried. What do you mean? I saw the comment before you deleted it. People are sharing it. Amara swallowed. It's nothing, just jealous people. Chioma was silent for a few seconds. Be careful, she said softly. Lies don't stay hidden forever. The words felt heavy. Amara checked her DMs. The wealthy man had seen her lost message, but he hadn't replied. Her stomach dropped. Did he see the comment? Was he investigating? For the first time, the attention she loved felt dangerous. Later that afternoon, her phone exploded with notifications again, but this time, not admiration. A new post had been made on a gossip page. Side-by-side photos. On the left, Amara posing in front of a mansion. On the right, Amara behind the counter at Royal Supermarket, wearing her work uniform. The caption read, Instagram versus reality? Her vision blurred. Her throat went dry. This wasn't just a comment anymore. This was public. When Amara arrived at work the next day, the atmosphere felt different. Whispers, side glances. A coworker smirked. Influencer, someone muttered under their breath. Her manager called her into the office. You've been trending, he said coldly. This shop does not need unnecessary attention. Her cheeks burned with shame. That evening, she finally received a message from the wealthy man. I value honesty, it read. Call me when you're ready to be truthful. No anger, no insults, just distance and disappointment. Somehow, that hurt more. That night, Amara sat alone in her small apartment. The bracelet still sparkled on her wrist, but it no longer felt like success. It felt like evidence. Evidence of pretending. Evidence of reaching too far. She opened Instagram. Her follower count was still high, but the comments had changed. Curiosity turned to mockery. Admiration turned to doubt. Tears finally slid down her face. For the first time, she wasn't thinking about angles, lighting, or captions. She was thinking about who she really was, and whether she had just lost everything chasing what she wasn't.
The next morning, sunlight filtered weakly through the faded curtain. Amara sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the floor. Her phone lay beside her. Notifications had slowed, but the damage was done. Comments, reposts, and gossip pages had painted her life in stark contrast, the glamorous Instagram image versus the reality of her supermarket job. For the first time, she felt exposed, vulnerable, human. Amara dressed simply that morning. Nothing borrowed, nothing flashy. A plain fitted top, jeans, and sneakers. She looked at herself in the mirror. Her reflection showed someone tired, tense, yet resolute. She ran her hands over her braids, straightening them. Enough hiding, she whispered. It was time to face the world, not the filtered version, but the real one. When she arrived at Royal Supermarket, the whispers were louder than yesterday. Colleagues exchanged glances, smirks, and muttered comments. Some customers stared. She felt the weight of every eye on her. Her manager approached. Amara, he said calmly but firmly, there's been a lot of talk. I want you to focus on your work. Leave the rest outside. Amara nodded, swallowing her pride. She moved to her register, taking a deep breath, forcing herself to focus. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from him. I'd like to meet tomorrow. Let's talk in person. No judgment, no scolding, just expectation. Amara stared at the message. Her chest tightened. This was her chance to clear the air,
to be honest and maybe salvage what she had built. That evening, she called Chioma. I can't keep lying, Amara admitted. Not to him, not to anyone. I have to tell the truth. Chioma's voice softened. It's scary, but you'll feel lighter once you do. I'll be there with you. For the first time in days, Amara smiled, nervously but genuinely. That night, Amara sat alone, her bracelet still on her wrist, her phone beside her. She drafted a private post on Instagram, a simple picture of herself at home in her work uniform, no filters, no glamorous angles. The caption, "This is me. No edits, no pretenses, just learning, growing, and being honest." She paused, took a deep breath, hit post. Her stomach fluttered with fear and relief. The truth was out, and somehow it felt freeing. That night, Amara barely slept. She kept turning on her small bed, staring at the ceiling while the gold bracelet rested against her wrist. It no longer felt like a gift. It felt like a reminder that she had built something fragile. By morning, her eyes were swollen. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from him. I'm in Abuja for 2 more days. Let's meet tonight. I'd like to talk properly. She read the message 3 times. Talk properly? Her heart beat faster. Was he going to ask about the rumors? Did he already know the truth? Or did he still believe the version of her that lived inside filters and borrowed dresses? Work felt heavier than usual. The whispers hadn't stopped. In fact, they had grown louder. Some customers looked at her twice. One woman smiled in a strange way and said, "Influencer, madam, please calculate this for me." Amara forced a smile. Her manager didn't say anything this time. He just watched her. And that was worse. During her lunch break, she sat alone behind the building. She opened Instagram. The comments were still coming. Some supportive, some cruel, some laughing. She clicked on her profile picture and stared at it. Who was that girl? Was that really her? That evening, Chioma came over. She didn't shout, she didn't argue, she just sat beside Amara quietly. You can still stop this, Chioma said softly. Amara swallowed. He wants to see me tonight. Chioma looked at the bracelet. And if he asks you directly, if he says, "Is this your real life?" what will you say? Amara didn't answer, because for the first time, she didn't know. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from him. I don't care about what people are saying online. I just want honesty. Her chest tightened. Honesty, the one thing she had avoided from the beginning. For a long moment, she stared at her reflection in the dark phone screen. No filter, no soft golden glow. Just her. Tired, beautiful, human, and afraid. She stood up slowly and walked to the small mirror hanging on the wall. She removed the bracelet. Her wrist suddenly felt lighter. She placed it gently on the table. Then she wiped the makeup off her face completely. She looked different, but she also looked real. For the first time since this whole thing started, she felt something unexpected. Relief. She picked up her phone. Her fingers hovered above the keyboard. She could dress up again, continue the lie, smile through another luxury dinner. Or she could tell the truth and risk losing everything. Her followers, the attention, the wealthy man, the dream. She typed a message, deleted it, typed again, stopped, closed her eyes. Then finally, she began to write. The evening air in Abuja felt heavy as Amara prepared herself. She had spent the entire afternoon pacing in her small apartment, replaying every choice she had made over the past weeks. Her fingers hovered over the phone screen. One message, one confession, one chance to tell the truth. She finally typed, "I need to be honest with you. My life, it's not what I've shown online. I've been pretending, and I'm sorry." She paused. Her heart raced. Then she hit send. The phone felt heavier than ever, as if it carried all the lies she had built. Minutes passed like hours. She stared at the glowing screen. No reply, no typing indicator. Her thoughts swirled. Did he already know? Will he hate me? Did I ruin everything? The gold bracelet on her wrist felt heavy, a relic of the persona she had tried to maintain. She removed it, placing it gently on the bedside table. Chioma was there, quietly sitting on the edge of the bed. "You did the right thing," she whispered. "I don't know what will happen next, but honesty, it's all you can control." Amara nodded, feeling a strange mixture of fear and relief. For the first time, she didn't have to maintain the mask. The phone buzzed. Her heart jumped. A message from him. "Thank you for telling me. I respect honesty more than anything. Let's meet tomorrow and talk." No anger, no judgment, just calm, understanding. Amara let out a shaky breath. Relief flooded through her. That night, she sat alone on the bed. The apartment was quiet, the faded curtains swaying slightly in the evening breeze. She opened Instagram. The posts, the followers, the comments, they were all still there. But she didn't care. The curated life of filters and rented dresses no longer mattered. What mattered was the truth she had finally spoken. For the first time, she felt free. Amara stared at the mirror. No filters, no gold bracelet, no borrowed luxury, just herself. She smiled softly. She knew rebuilding her life wouldn't be easy, but it would be real, and real felt better than fake. Tomorrow she would meet him, and whatever happened, she would do it as her true self. The evening in Abuja was calm, a soft breeze rustling through the streets. Amara had dressed simply but neatly, a modest yet elegant dress that made her feel herself without pretending to be someone she wasn't. She looked at her reflection one last time. No filters, no gold bracelet, just her. Her heart thumped loudly as she stepped out of her small apartment and hailed a taxi. Tonight was the moment she had feared and anticipated all at once, meeting the wealthy man face to face and being completely honest. The car drove smoothly through the wide streets of Maitama. When it stopped, a familiar white-walled restaurant glowed softly in the evening light. She stepped out, feeling small yet determined. Inside, he was already there, tall, calm, dressed in a navy suit. His expression was neutral, but his eyes held quiet curiosity and respect. "Amara," he said simply. "Thank you for meeting me." She nodded, swallowing her nerves. They sat across from each other. The soft clinking of glasses and distant chatter created a calm backdrop. "I saw your messages," he began. "You could have pretended forever. Why not?" Amara took a deep breath. I wanted people to see me as I wished I was. I wanted to feel important, respected, admired. I wasn't honest, and I'm sorry." He listened quietly, nodding slightly. "I don't care about Instagram," he said finally. "I care about honesty. I care about the real you." Her chest relaxed a little. Relief mingled with lingering fear. They talked for hours. She spoke about the photos, the borrowed dresses, the rented cars. She spoke about the anxiety, the loneliness, the pressure to appear richer than she was. He didn't interrupt. He didn't judge. By the end, Amara realized she could breathe again. The mask she had carried for weeks was finally off. "Thank you for telling me," he said, smiling faintly. "Not everyone has the courage to do that." Walking home that night, Amara felt lighter. She no longer imagined a life built on borrowed glamour. She imagined a life she could truly live. Small, simple, real, and honest. Instagram could wait. Her truth could not. And somewhere deep down, she knew this honesty was the first step towards something more meaningful than likes or followers. The morning sunlight poured softly through Amara's faded curtain. She stretched and took a deep breath, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. For the first time, the apartment felt like a home rather than a stage. She dressed simply, jeans, a soft top, and her favorite sneakers. No borrowed dresses, no flashy accessories, just her. Walking into work, she noticed the whispers, but this time they didn't sting as much. She carried herself with quiet confidence. Her coworkers exchanged glances, but Amara smiled politely and focused on her tasks. The manager gave a small nod. No praise, no judgment, just acknowledgement. During her lunch break, she opened Instagram. Followers were still there, comments still scrolling, but she felt no need to impress anyone. She posted a simple selfie, unedited, natural, smiling softly. The caption read, "Real life, real me." The likes came slowly. The comments were supportive, curious, and a few skeptical. It didn't matter. She felt free. Later that evening, she met the wealthy man in the same white-walled restaurant. This time, there was no pretense, no filters, no borrowed glamour. "You're different," he said with a faint smile. "Better," Amara replied, feeling genuine warmth. They talked, laughed, and shared stories. Not the Instagram version, not the borrowed persona, just real conversation. Over the next few weeks, Amara balanced her work at Royal Supermarket and her Instagram account honestly. She shared glimpses of her life, simple joys, struggles, and small victories. She discovered that authenticity drew people closer than false glamour ever could. She reconnected with Chioma, strengthening their friendship. She found a rhythm to life that was sustainable, honest, and freeing. Amara realized that living a lie may bring attention and admiration temporarily, but it comes with a heavy cost: anxiety, exhaustion, and the fear of being discovered. Honesty, though vulnerable, brought respect, peace, and genuine connection. She had learned that true worth isn't in appearances, rented dresses, or filtered photos. It's in being unapologetically oneself. As she sat by her window that evening, the Abusian night calm around her, Amara's Instagram notifications buzzed, but she didn't reach for her phone immediately. She had discovered something more valuable than followers, likes, or borrowed glamour: the freedom of living her truth.